Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Highland Stats Football Show. I'm your host, Earl Baston. Joining me as co-host, Maceo Dill. Maceo, this weekend we were only, the association only had 3 First Division matches. Most of the Premier Division matches were called off. Some due to the funeral of Sergeant Baskin, which took place today, and the others were COVID related. But the First Division, let's kick in from yesterday. St. David's playing Island Rangers, and then just to let everyone know, we are awaiting some of our overseas youngsters to join us, hopefully very, very soon in Sincere Hall and
the Jai Tucker.
The Jai Tucker, yes. So hopefully those guys are able to join us relatively soon. We got to chat with them to bring them or get them to bring us up to speed on how things are going at Burnley and at Hull City. But St. David's came out of the blocks early yesterday. They had 3 goals in 13 minutes against Island Rangers, but that was it. Island Rangers did score late in the game, but 3-1 to St. David's. Really no surprise in who was going to win, but as that game got going and was 3 goals in that first 13 minutes, one would have wondered if St. David's would have continued or did that break up Island Rangers.
Well, I mean, what that points to, right, is the lack of pre-game preparation on Island Rangers' behalf, to get caught cold like that in the first period. And then it also points to St. David's got what they came for, which is the 3 points, and they take their foot off the paddle. Island Rangers slips back into gets a goal, but never really threatening the result of the game. So I mean, Island Rangers historically, the pattern that they have of starting to go south in the second half of the season, that pattern is showing up.
Definitely. And then today, one of the top of the table clashes. Hamilton Parish going to Police Field to face Social Club. Social Club would have wanted to, let Hamilton Parish know they are also title contenders. But Hamilton Parish ended up winning 2-1. Would have said, hey, listen, you could battle it out with the other guy. We're going on about our business. But to keep Hamilton Parish focused in on what they need to do, how much of a difficult job do you think Sergio Goda, the coach of Hamilton Parish, would have from here on in? They still have some tough matches to play, but pretty much it's a done deal.
Yeah, and this is where coaching and organization comes in, right? Because we are amateurs in Bermuda, Hamilton Parish players would know, okay, I got what I came for. I'm came for the title, and players their feet can leave the ground a bit. They can get a bit big-headed and they can stop doing the things that got them to that position. But I know Sergio, he's a perfectionist. He's a perfectionist as it relates to the game. He would see the areas of weakness. He's not going to allow winning to cloud him. And that's one thing with a student of the game. Winning is not something that clouds them. They always look at what they got to improve on. So the fact that they got the match cross the line today, they got the match cross the line with Social Club. This is where we start to measure the Sergio impact in Hamilton Parish to see how he now keeps the boys together to keep pushing across the line.
Their last 2 games, they drew against BAA the time before this, but making sure that you're not giving up many goals is obviously the key for a team like Hamilton Parish, because they've scored 32 but only given up 8. But they want to make sure that looks like it's solidified. That defense looks like it's pretty much one of those things. I think they gave the young goalkeeper that was in goal last week, gave him another shot today. And just for confidence sake, because he would have his confidence would have been rocked after last week giving up the goal from in the other team's half if the goalkeeper taking the free kick and it bouncing over and going into the goal. But I think Sergio has done the right thing by giving a little bit more confidence to the goalkeeper by saying, don't worry about that one, let's get this one done.
And again, that's coaching and management, right? And understanding that you need your team for the whole season. That's an understanding, and everybody has to feel that they're valued within the team, and also understanding that a goalkeeper will make a mistake, right? At some point in the season, the top goalkeepers in the world have made mistakes, right? It, and they will make a mistake, and they need the opportunity to redeem themselves, and that becomes a benefit sometimes when you got a team in this position, because that goalkeeper doesn't want to make another mistake, because it wouldn't be just Sergio, it will be the fans, it will be the players that he has to make up to. So they're in a good vein right now where he knows that, you know what, I can't let him down no more. And
Yeah.
Sergio, good on him to put him out there, to give him the opportunity to redeem himself per se.
Sure, because on the flip side of that, it would be if you go back to your regular goalkeeper and something happens to him, now you haven't given this guy a confidence check, but you're throwing him back in there. And what's the first thing he's thinking of? And
Yeah.
all game he's thinking of, I can't mess up, I can't mess up, I can't mess up. When you put him in a pressure situation.
Yeah, and that always a tricky balance, and I think Marco Warren said it on our show some time back, that what's underestimated in our coaching and our football is the chemistry of your team. So so when you look at what Sergio has done, is also he will be managing that chemistry. He'll be managing the chemistry within his team.
Mm, mm.
And
And then
Sergio, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he would have had to play without his top defender in Queen Otterbridge, because he got sent off against
yeah,
he would have got sent off against BA, and this is their
yes,
first game after BA. So
right.
that is significant too, right? That's significant that you get the result across the line and you
Mhm.
play without your top defender.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that they would have been looking for to ensure, again, without that defender, you want to make sure that you know your defense is solidified, and putting somebody there that you're going to have a little bit of confidence in, it helps the team itself, you know. So he has those tools that he could use. So you know, somebody else has to step up.
and I think knowing the Hamilton Parish community, like I know, this positive boss is moving in a positive direction, and everybody's going to want a piece of it. The players
Hmm.
are going to want a piece of it. The management's going to want a piece of it. Everybody's going to want to be a part of it. So Sergio now has to manage that piece, right? He has to
Hmm.
manage the expectation, and he has to manage the involvement of people outside that team. Because
Hmm.
when winning happens, everybody wants to say no. Now when it's losing, only the big people step up. Or when
Right.
winning happens, everybody wants a piece.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, we're going to be joined momentarily by Nijai Tucker and Sincere Hall. But let's get to the final First Division game of the weekend, which was Boulevard and Vasco. Boulevard winning 5-1. We talked about Vasco early in the season when the change was made with Brian, Brian Iris not coaching.
And you brought
The
in Gary Adams, right?
and Gary Adams, and you were talking about organization and so forth. It appears it's just not working with the players he has.
Yeah, organization only takes you so far. You're going to need quality within the organization to get results. And if you don't get results, then the players are going to turn.
Right.
Yeah. So at that level, you have to get results. Otherwise, the players will turn. And once the players turn, it's very difficult. Once the players here turn, the players are very very finicky. They're very very finicky, and they're the most important part of the game, right? So I mean, you heard coaches like Pep Guardiola always saying, "Well, I have to convince my players," and I can tell you the thing that convinces his players is that they win. So he convinces players. If we're looking at Pep Guardiola, his convincing his players to play without a striker, and the only thing that's convincing them to do that is that they're winning.
Mm, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what convinces players at this level when you win.
Mm.
Nothing
And
else convinces them.
right. And of course, Boulevard. Um, you know you're gonna get a tough match with them, but you don't always know which tough match you're gonna get.
Yeah. Well, momentum's happening for them, right? They sniff an opportunity to be promoted.
Right.
They're sniffing that out. That there's an opportunity to be promoted. So momentum's happening for them, and how serious are they going to take that opportunity? That's what's happening. So they do have the quality to be in the conversation about promotion. But that second spot's going to be the hot spot, right? Because it's going to be
Yes.
Boulevard, it's going to be BA, as well as it's going to be Social Club looking for that second spot. So that's the hot spot right now.
Yeah, definitely. Well, actually, let's take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by Nijai Tucker and Sincere Hole. We'll be right back.
Our old friends Arrowhead Mills was founded in the 1960s in the famous Texas Panhandle with the ambition to promote the production and use of pesticide-free grains, cereals, and pulses. The mission was to bring the most wholesome food attainable to the mainstream markets. Since then, Arrowhead Mills has increased its range of products, most of which are certified organic. You can be sure that Arrowhead Mills know a thing or two about good eats. This month, we're featuring Arrowhead Mills green and red organic lentils. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
My inspiration to write this book has to do with empowering. I want people to understand what it looks like when you are in a position when you don't have the tools around you. If you know me or don't know me, the game, the beautiful game of football, soccer, is and always was a way out. Still fearful on what to do, what would happen if I say something.
What can we do in this book to incorporate tools to help specifically our group of young people in Bermuda?
Could you imagine doing a read with little people and breaking everything down for them and having them to have a voice and having conversation pieces, if it's chapter by chapter?
And welcome back. We're joined by Nijai Tucker and Sincere Hole. Just let him get settled with his.
That's fine. My camera's cool.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Well, gentlemen, first of all, welcome. Happy New Year to you both. Nijai, take us through your time so far at Burnley. I know you're staple in the under-23 team. Just give us a little bit brief of what you've been going through this season.
It's been a good season personally, with like stats and numbers and playing time, things like that. Currently, like recently, it's been a lot of COVID, so our games have been getting cancelled, so we've not been playing that much matches. But overall season, it's been a good season so far.
And Sincere, for you, you've been a few times in the under-23 team, in the under-18 team. What has your season been like thus far?
My season so far, it's been what I've expected. Been made a few appearances for the U23s, and that's what I expected. So yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Nate?
Are you hearing his voice good?
Yeah, good.
Right. So, Nijai Tucker, what's happening there, Mr. Tucker? You started the season with a bang. I mean, you was pretty much scoring weekly. What do you attribute that to, the ability to score weekly? Any connection to your training in Bermuda?
No. See,
what was the turnaround, and you think where you think was it a change of mindset? What do you attribute those goals
compared
that you
to
were?
last season, we didn't have the personnel for players, so I was playing out of position most of the time, so I wasn't in my preferred position, so it wasn't easy to like. I just had to play a role for the team. Whereas this season, I'm playing in a much better position that I like, so it's easy for me to contribute to the team and do as I want to do on the pitch.
And Cindy, what's happening there, Mister? Um, Tell me about the journey to be the journey for you, uh, getting spotted and getting the opportunity at Hull. What did that journey look like? Because I know last year, I was following you a bit, and you was playing in that COVID season. You played a lot of games. I saw the game on video that you played against Sadeo. You looked very, very, very good on the left. But what was it that got you the opportunity to go to Hull City?
Wait, can you repeat that question? My Wi-Fi was messed up. My
Yeah.
Wi-Fi was messed
What? How did you get the opportunity to get to Hull City? Where did that opportunity come from?
up. From showcase matches. From Connecticut, we be playing like a bit of academy teams. So I think it came from that.
And what do you see the difference between those matches for the and Hull City? Is it a distinct difference that you're recognizing that's happening?
Well, between Connecticut and Hull,
Yeah, between Connecticut and Hull.
I won't say there's a big difference because the players it's not like the players are still good at Connecticut. So I say no, it's not. It's not really a big difference. It's just I would say like the training is a bit different because we do gym and that. So at Connecticut we wasn't really doing that. So I say training and the facilities are different, but playing football is basically the same.
You say you're playing in a more comfortable position that you're used to and you like to. Getting the opportunity to express yourself in training to actually be one of the focal points of the team. How much of your character allows you to be that person?
I say I always look to be on the ball, so I try to be on the ball as much as possible. I want to create, do something, try and contribute to the team, help the team out. And that's what I'm like as a person. Like outgoing. I want to be in the mix. Feel me? I want to be like a part. I just want to be involved with everything.
Now, your last outing, which was, I believe, Friday or Thursday?
Against Birmingham, yeah.
Yeah. You guys look comfortable, but you didn't put the game away.
No, we conceded late in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was disappointing, but
When you're in
we had chances which should have seen the game away, but didn't take them. So
right. Sincere, for the under 23 team that you play in, are you still playing in the similar position that you would play in the under 18s?
Yeah, for the under 23s, I play on both wings, and for the 18s, I usually play on the left, but yeah, I play on the wing.
What are you more? Are you happy to play up? You like that more, as you could be, I guess, a little more aggressive?
Yeah, I think playing with the under 23s makes me like physically stronger, and it would make my own age group easier. So
Right?
Yeah. Now, just for a question for you. So you recently experienced a bit of injury. What have you learned from that injury, and what was the process of for you to recover? Because obviously, being an athlete, your body is the most important thing, to be able to produce, at that level. So, just tell us about your injury and tell us about what that recovery looks like and what the prevention looks like moving forward.
With my I had a knee injury. Was it about 2.5 months ago? I don't know the technical name for it. I forgot. It's some long name. Some cartilage or something damaged, tissue damage, ripped off, and I just needed to stay off the grass a little bit, help it recover, and strengthen it back up to get back on the pitch. It was quite boring, like seeing everyone else play, and you're just stuck inside doing gym all the time, and you wanna just go back out and pitch and get back to doing what you're doing, and you lose fitness, so you have to top that back up again, and yeah, going forward, you just have to always be prepared with your body, make sure everything's right, and because we play a lot of games, so after the next game, you always have to recover to make sure that you can go again and be 100% for the next one.
Well, when we in the professional environment, we hear the term of that player taking care of himself. He's taking care of. So let's take James Milner that plays for Liverpool now. He's got longevity in the game. You know, has that injury been a light bulb moment for you as to, you know, looking at your body differently and how you take care of it differently?
In a certain way, it's my first time, basically, ever that I've had like an injury that's kept me out for quite a while. So it just makes you realize that like injuries can affect you, and you just have to do as much as you can to help prevent you from getting hurt again, because you don't want to be out, you want to be playing.
And Sincere, I'm just jumping lanes here. You recently represented Bermuda in the under 20. Just talk me through your thought process to what could have been, what we could have done a little bit differently in that last game. I think was against Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about you guys are getting certain exposure and experience in the professional environments, right? As far as tactics, for us different things. Is it anything in your head that we could have done differently to be able to get that result across the line?
I think you see, like the first 2 games that we played, we was more attacking and we was actually trying to score. And in the last game, we thought that we didn't have to score. We just had to see the game out and just make sure we didn't lose by a certain amount of goals. So we sat deep. We sat too deep. But I think if we just actually play our normal game and just attack how we usually did, then it would have been a different result. But I think sitting too deep against a team like Puerto Rico, it allowed them to like dribble, do our midfield. Yeah, they was applying pressure, and it was like we couldn't do it. So it was bad.
Yeah. Does those type of disappointments give you more ambition to do well, so Bermuda can do well?
Yeah, of course. I always want to see my country do well, but I just think we was confused in that moment. We didn't do the right thing. So yeah.
And last question on that subject. We were out. Because of injury, we were without Remy Connaughton as well as a Johnny. Do you think their exposure to the professional environment would have helped that cause a little bit more?
Yeah, most definitely. I think, and especially because of the attacking players, so our attack would have been even better. But yeah, the injury, it changed the team up, I'm pretty sure, because they was definitely getting chosen. So yeah, I think with them, it would have been easier for not just me, but the whole team. But it happens. They just got injured.
Sure. Let's take another quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have more with me, Guy Tucker, and Sincere Hole. We'll be right back.
Ace Kitchen is an independent organic food company, a family business who've been producing wholesome and flavorful foods over 30 years. From their first pot pie right up to 1 million meals a day, and firmly believe in the importance of TLC throughout the entire process. This month we're featuring a range of Amy's organic beans, refried and baked, chilies, medium, spicy and beyond, and a multitude of organic soups, minestrone, chunky tomato bisque, cream of mushroom, hearty Thai coconut, and much more. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
My inspiration to write this book has to do with empowering. I want people to understand what it looks like when you are in a position when you don't have the tools around you. If you know me or don't know me, the game, the beautiful game of football, soccer, is and always was a way out. Still fearful on what to do, what would happen if I say something.
What can we do in this book to incorporate tools to help specifically our group of young people in Bermuda?
Could you imagine doing a read with little people and breaking everything down for them and having them to have a voice and having conversation pieces, if it's chapter by chapter?
welcome back. Nijai, when talking to your friends, your peers, and so forth that are still in Bermuda, what's some of the things you tell them about the difficulties of ensuring that if they want to have an opportunity like the ones that you guys have, they're doing all the right things before they get there?
Well, most of my friends that I speak to about football are already living out here, already like I've already moved. But for people that haven't, and I'd say if they're my age and they haven't come out, not to be like, it's a little bit too late. You feel me? Because it's gonna be hard to come out and try and get used to it, and then try to get into a team at like an old age, because they will be looking for you to play into their first team. So you have to be ready to go straight into their first team, and you have to be better than what they already have. So it's a bit hard, but if you got a dream, you just gotta get your head down and keep working for it, because anything's possible. You feel me? Like, never give up. If that's what you want, then go out and get it.
Mm. And what about you, Sensei? What advice would you have for your peers?
Yeah, like Nija, most of my friends that already play football, they're already out in England or America. But I would say, because I'm a bit younger, so I would say, like, football is a lot of disappointments. So, like, if you go into a team and you don't get in, just don't give up. Just keep going, and like, if it's meant for you, it'll work out. So, yeah.
Mm. Were you guys, when you guys first got out there, were you shocked at the level of fitness you needed to be at in order to actually get into the team and kind of stay in the team?
No, I felt it was easy at a younger age. Younger age, you have so much energy, you just want to play football. Like, there's nothing else. There's nothing else to really worry about. It only gets serious when you move into the professional game, under 16, under 18, and 23 plus. But as a young age, you just play football and enjoy doing what you want to do.
Mm. Is it?
Yeah. I know the Bermudian culture. I know the kids. I've grown up in it. I'm a part of it. It's part of me. How are you guys balancing the social element of being in a professional environment and having to deal with girls, having to deal with socializing, having to deal with friends? What does that balance look like? Are you guys getting that balance right? Najai, you first. Are you getting that balance right? Because I can imagine, being Bermudian, having a little different accent, being a bit good looking. I would say you guys are good
A
looking.
bit? What do you mean a bit? Hey.
Yeah. Yeah. And being a professional footballer, it makes you a target. It makes you a target for the young ladies. How are you balancing that?
Yeah, you.
Najai, you first.
Feel me? Like,
Go ahead.
Yeah, Najai, did he stall?
Yeah, he dropped out. So, unfortunately, Sincere, you're first.
Yeah, Cindy, you gotta go first now.
All right, cool.
you can hear me?
I guess Cindy's going first since you dropped out.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
All right, cool.
how are you balancing that, Cindy? Are you staying focused with
yeah,
your
I'm
football?
balancing that good. I'm focused. I'm not worrying about girls. I don't really worry about all that. I'm waiting for my time to break through to the first team, and then girls will come. But right now I'm chilling. Right now I don't worry about girls. Bro, what's this guy laughing, bro?
Najai's laughing. Oh, why are you laughing, Najai?
Oh boy.
Cindy, I do investigations, right?
Yeah, police officer.
Najai, how about you? How are you balancing the social part of it? Because I know professionalism is demanding, and sometimes it's isolation from everything as well. And being 19, you're 19. That's a 19-year-old's a 19-year-old no matter what. How are you balancing those things?
I play for Burnley and I live up here, so like it's a small city. It's nothing really up here. It's nothing to really do. And I don't go home. I hardly ever go home. So I just go training, come back, and just chill in my house, go train the next day, repeat, just do the same thing. It's only occasionally that I like get some time off, a few days, and I'll go enjoy time with my friends, and then straight back to playing football and come back up here.
Give
So
us
it's
a
like
sense.
occasional days, like you go and do some like New Year's, you go have a little fun with your friends, birthday, whatever. Nothing too serious, it's just whenever you have the time. But most of the time, you come home from training, you're tired, you just want to sleep, you just want to chill, you don't have the energy to do anything.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So that means you guys are balancing it well.
Yeah, professional.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. All right, good answer.
As he hides his smile.
As he hides his smile. As he hides, good answer. Good answer.
Give us a sense. Give us a sense of what you
No,
guys do.
just see, Macy, you trying to catch me out, trying to get me.
Yeah.
I ain't
You got him
going.
done. You got him done. You got him done.
Yeah.
Give us a sense of what a game day is like for you guys. You guys generally you play through the week. Mondays with the under 23s, under 18s are generally Wednesdays, right?
We play on the weekend.
Play on the weekend. Okay. So on an evening night, like you're got a game tomorrow, Nijai. What is game day like for you preparing, and then what time do you have to get to the training ground or to the grounds? How does that work?
So tomorrow I have a game in Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll wake up, get breakfast, eat breakfast at my house, and then I have to be at the training ground at 12:30. And then we have to pack our get like our boots and stuff, get everything we need for the game, pack it on the bus. And then we drive to Wolves, but we'll stop at a hotel. Then we'll have pre-match at a hotel, eat food, watch analysis, go through tactical stuff, and then get back on. We'll say about 2-3. Get back on coach. Go meet at the stadium at about 5:30. Prepare for the game. Play at 7, and then come back after the game. Drive a little bit back up here. Get home. Go sleep, and have training next morning.
What generally a lot of people don't understand when you start talking about pre-match meal and the analysis and stuff. How important is that to anybody to understand the importance of having a meal and the importance of going through some technical stuff just prior to a game?
It's essential. Having a meal is going to give you the energy to play the game, to get through the game, especially because it's a night game. So you have loads of time to fuel up in order to make it through the game. And especially if you're just sitting on a bus for hours and hours, you're going to be tired. So you need to get off your feet, walk around, get energy back into your body, and get prepared for the game. And also analysis and tactical stuff like set pieces, watch how the team play, how you're going to play against the team. It helps when you come to the game, you realize in the game, like, this is what's happening. So you already have like an idea. Also, like set pieces, if you don't do set pieces, you don't know what's happening, then that could be you conceding a goal and you losing the game. So it's essential that you do that so you have an idea what's going on, just to prepare for anything that comes.
Right. And Sincere, for you, if you're playing on the weekend, what is that preparation like, time-wise, and through the day?
So usually, if we play on the weekend, our matches are like in the morning or like early afternoon. So we'll wake up early. Like a bus will pick me up from outside my house, and then it will take me to the training ground. We'll pack. I'll get my boots from the training ground, pack the bus, then we'll drive to the training ground if it's away, and then go change to their change room, like analysis. We'll talk about our tactics, and then that's it. But if it's home, the day before a match, we will do analysis on the team, like tactics, set pieces, or like all of that type of stuff. And then the same thing, a bus will pick me up, take me to the training ground, and we'll just get ready.
You guys, I mean, I know you guys' history in football in Bermuda. You both of your personality players, meaning that you like to stamp your personality and express yourself on the game. In Bermuda, you would have had some freedom to be able to do that. Now we're talking about this topic of tactics and game strategy and stuff. What is it a distinct difference in what you would have experienced in Bermuda to what you experience out there? And the question around that after that is that somehow sometimes hard to adjust to when you want to stamp your personality on the game?
Cindy?
I'll say, kinda, yeah, it's kinda hard. Cause usually, like before, alright, I'll say at Kinetic, I was like expressing myself, getting bold, just dribbling, like doing what I want to do. But when I first moved to Hull, it's kind of difficult because they have a way of playing, and so like it wasn't really fitting my playing style. But now I'm expressing myself. I'm doing what I usually do, like I'm dribbling, dropping deep, getting it. But sometimes I have to make in behind runs. That's not really my game, but I had to adjust to that. So I say at first it was hard, but now I'm used to it. So
You adapt that.
yeah,
And
I adapt
especially
it.
for you, Najah, you was definitely a personality player. I mean, I coach you. I mean, you're 10 years old and told me let you do what you want.
And what happens when you let me?
So now,
What happened?
you know,
What happened?
well, I'm not complaining. I'm not even, So how are you adjusting to
much.
team tactics and game and how are you adjusting that, especially with your style of play can impact games. For sure, your style of play and that bit of freedom can impact games. How are you adjusting to now fitting into team tactics?
For me, I find it extremely hard, like so difficult. Not because of the place that I'm like the club that I'm at. I feel it's a totally different style to what I play and what I'm used to and what I want to do. Like they have their own style. That's what works for them. It kept them in the Premier League for so many years, I guess. So you can't say that it's a bad style of play, but everyone's just different. But for me, I have to like take control of the game in order for me to stand out in it, for like to get noticed. Because if I just fall into the system, I just feel like an extra number on the pitch. Like I just feel like I'm not being myself. I'm not doing what I want, like how I want to play.
Well, there are times where you have the senior staff from the first team coming to watch you guys.
Yeah, and every coach is different. You just have to learn what the coach wants, and if you want to play, you're gonna have to do what the coach wants you to do, or you're just not gonna play. So that's what you have to learn. You just have to learn. Just have to adapt to knowing how to mix between getting the best out of yourself and also the best for the team.
Now, because I follow you quite a bit. You guys do create a lot of chances in games.
I do.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, you guys, because you're a team.
Let's get it right, Darryl. Let's get it right. Let's make sure you get it right.
It's a team player. It's a team player.
I'm playing.
But how frustrating is it for you because you consider yourself one of the guys that are creating a lot of opportunities for other players? How frustrating is it that you guys are not putting many chances away? And obviously, all of you have ambitions of getting into the first team at some point in time. Do you think that's holding you guys back?
As a team, I think for the first team, they will look at you as an individual. But as a team overall, we have slipped. We have slipped a few times, not finishing games, seeing games out. It hurts us in the table in a sense of we should be higher, closer like into the playoffs or the first top 2 teams. We definitely should be. I just feel like we need to be more clinical and be more ruthless and just finishing the game off instead of like just allowing teams to get back in it. We just need to finish it off. But I wouldn't say that that's gonna affect us like our chances in the first team, but because overall performance, everyone might have a bad game or miss a chance here and there, but overall you just have to play good and do what you guys do.
Yeah, well, it's time to turn it on tomorrow night against Wolves.
I got you.
I'll be watching the game. See, I'm the analyst.
How you gonna watch?
It's not on YouTube. That one's not on YouTube.
I don't know.
I'll get to keep sending it to you.
They haven't put it up.
It's not at home. It's at Wolves.
Yeah,
all right, it's at Wolves. I have to go on Wolves side.
Yeah. So yeah. But Sincere, how have you enjoyed the time at Hull City so far?
Yeah, right now it's just I'm enjoying it. It's just football, so I really can't complain. But right now I'm enjoying it because, like, at the beginning of the season, I was saying one of my goals was to play under 23s like regularly, and I've achieved it. So yeah, right now it's looking really good. So yeah, I can't complain.
Good. Any final question, Mace?
Yeah, final question. Tell me about how COVID is impacting you, football in general out there, because football is about a rhythm, right? And tell me what that looks like and what the precautions as far as testing and things that you guys have to go through to be able to participate. What does that look like for you guys out there?
Me, I have to test every morning before training.
Every morning. Okay.
It's just a lateral flow test.
Lateral flow test.
Twice a week we do a PCR test. I think that's what it's called. PCR. So every morning we drive to training and we drive through testing station, get swabbed, goes to the COVID people, and then we have to wait for our results to come back before we go into the building, because 23s and first team are together, so like we're all in the same bubble. So they have to protect us in case any of us have it. We can't give it to the first team. And so yeah, we get tested every single day basically. And before,
is that something similar for you, Cindy?
No, we have to test every Friday before a match. Yeah, before a match.
Before your matches, okay.
I gotta test every single day.
But I mean, for me, I do.
You might get that. You never know which day you can get that phone call.
Every day, swab.
This is part of life now, eh?
Not to worry. You're going to be grateful one day when that swab takes you to get you to that first team, meaning that you're already ready to do it.
By God's grace.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. We want to thank you very much for your time. Good luck. Good luck tomorrow, Nijai.
Thank you.
And sincere good luck on the remainder of the season. Hopefully, you guys can get amongst the girls and get and move even further ahead in the teams that you're at, and if not, somewhere else, and enjoy your careers. All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for the show.
We're going to take another commercial break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up this edition of the Island Stack Football Show. We'll be right back.
John Barrett & Son, home of Bermuda's best beverages, is starting the new year with an exciting new beverage, Numa, the organic sport hydration drink. Founded by brothers Brandon and Jared, both pro hockey players, Numa stands for No More Artificials and is an organic plant-based sports drink with real ingredients like organic coconut water and Himalayan pink salt. Numa partnered with fitness groups in the USA early in their development and expertly responded to the call for purity and simplicity. Try all flavors of Numa organic sports drink this month. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
My inspiration to write this book has to do with empowering. I want people to understand what it looks like when you are in a position when you don't have the tools around you. If you know me or don't know me, the beautiful game of football, soccer, is and always was a way out. I'm still fearful on what to do, what would happen if I say something.
What can we do in this book to incorporate tools to help specifically our group of young people in Bermuda?
Could you imagine doing a read with little people and breaking everything down for them and having them to have a voice and having conversation pieces, if it's chapter by chapter?
Macy, of course, we really want to wish those two young men and all the other guys out there applying their trade to hopefully we could get that senior professional contract and do something that they dream of and something that they really enjoy, but not negating the fact that it takes hard work, not only to get there, but to stay there, and the commitment that is needed to actually, first of all, catch that coach's eye. You need a little bit of luck, but then you have to be able to fit into the system in which they play. You heard Sincere say that he struggled at the beginning.
Yeah.
But he's learning.
Well, that's the difference, right? I mean, I always look at this conversation, bigger conversation. I look at it and I always compare it back to Clyde Bass, Sean Gooder. Our kids are getting there earlier now. Our kids are getting into this environment earlier, and they're making that adjustment quicker. So you hear Sincere talk about, okay, I had to recognize that I had to adjust, and now I'm adjusted what the team want out of me, and now I can start to do what I offer to the team. Vijay has always been a personality player. He always struggles with he's better off allowing to be free within a team concept. So now it takes coaching to how do you allow him to be free within a team concept. And we talked a little bit about earlier with Pat playing without a striker, where everybody in that team now plays in the team concept. Everybody in Man City's team. So that's sort of the benchmark. And they're learning. I see that players are learning much quicker about the team concept and how to express themselves in that team concept. So you get both of them.
Right.
You get the ability to do both, express who you are in the team concept. So it's good for them. And us as Bermudians, like I said, we're seeing that we can impact on this stage, and not just in football. We can impact on the stage across the board in different sports. Me being at youth and sports, I start to interact with other athletes that are participating in sports. But the bigger conversation is also the value of sports, right? What parents are investing in for their kids to grow up. And these guys are doing very positive things for them, regardless of whether they become the world beater or whatever. They're doing very positive things to develop them into responsible, positive adults, which is always good. Right?
Yeah, definitely, and could be role models amongst their peers and those just below them, because if they're living a dream, that means anybody and everybody has that opportunity to live that dream. It's what you do with that opportunity. There may be some that will never ever get the opportunity, but through their friends, through their peers, they get an opportunity to live that with that person.
Yeah, and it's gotta eventually be well for us in Bermuda with those generations. Like you hear them say, "Oh, most of my friends from Bermuda are here with me." So I know they have a whole community, and with what's that, Snapchat or TikTok or whatever it is they use, they interact regularly, And from my perspective, knowing the boys, I'm glad they keep together also as a community of Bermudians. They really do keep together as a community of Bermudians. My son is obviously those guys' age in between, so they have a whole community of Bermudians that they're feeding off of. And at some point in time, that's got to be well for us in Bermuda to take advantage of the exposures that they're having, professionally.
Sure. Well, let's take a look at the back to the matches this weekend. Let's take a look at the standings. Hamilton Parish are the league leaders in the first division. They have 25 points from 9 games with 8 wins and a draw. Young Men Social Club are tied with Boulevard Blazers, and all 3 of those teams have played 9 games. So Boulevard and Young Men Social Club both have 16 points from their 9 games. Both of them have 5 wins, 1 draw, and 3 losses. Young Men Social Club has scored 25, given up 16, a difference of 9. Boulevard has scored 21 and given up 12, a difference of 9. Now, here lies, you were talking about this kicker. BAA have played 7 games, 4 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. They have 14 points, but have 2 games in hand. If they win those 2 games, they will leapfrog both Young Men Social Club and Boulevard and would have 20 points, meaning that Boulevard and Young Men Social Club, in order to catch BAA, they would have to beat them or hope that they lose twice. So interesting times in the first division. When one of the games, Boulevard do play BAA. That was to be the other day.
Yeah, I think Boulevard's going to be the team for me in pole position for the promotion. Yeah, I really think they will be that team. And just because as a club, they have a taste of Premier League, and I think as a club, they'll feel they're more of a Premier League club than BA and Social Club. And BA is going to lose quite a few players that are going to go back off to school, and they're going to have very inexperienced players coming back that's really learning their trade. And in the grand scheme of things, another year in that division probably will be good for those players.
Good for them, yeah, at a young age.
Yeah, and I don't know, Social Club, are they gonna be able to manage and handle the pressure down in the business end of it, Yeah, I think Boulevard's carefree attitude it's gonna be the advantage for them going into the chase.
Sure. We have a question. So how can we step into normalizing video analysis with our local sports in Bermuda? We are far beneath the bar presently. Well, one of the things is several clubs, and not just football, several clubs have gone into the technology side with Vimo, and getting clips and being able to analyze games. It's not something you'll see right away, but they're heading in the right direction, being able to get the analysis of their games and so forth. So I know they're doing it in cricket, they're doing it in football, they're doing it in hockey. So it's just a matter of give it time. It's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah, my answer to that would be the avenue for doing that. It will be at the Association of National Bodies. So the Association of National Bodies is a collaboration of all our national bodies as to once they start to develop their long-term athletic development program, that the media coverage, media as well as video analysis be a part of the development, the mandatory development of an athlete, because that's where we are. So that's the vehicle to make that the video analysis something that is normal and mandatory from that level. So when you go outside Bermuda, everybody has in place a long-term athletic development program in place for athletes, and part of that analysis of that development program is video analysis. Is not based on memory or opinions. Is based on factual video evidence, and that's where the kids are now. The kids are already to that point. A coach is not a coach, or is not going to convince them. It's like, well, here's the film. There you go. So it's something that's got to happen, but I think that's the platform where the quickest way of it being something that's normal and mandatory across our sports.
It's just one of those things where you have to. The Vimo one allows someone else to break it down for you, so you're really not breaking it down yourself.
That's right.
You just ask for whatever you're looking for, and they break it down for you. But it's when someone who, I don't want to say not interested or don't know the basics of it, is getting the information but not doing anything with it. That's where I think they're letting the athletes down.
Yeah, and even this conversation with athletes being put in front of the media is something that is necessary, that they need to be put in front of the media at early ages to articulate themselves, to grow their brand and grow their confidence. Those things are all necessary in an athlete development now, because sports is a platform now, right? Sports is worldwide a platform of growing your brand.
Definitely. Let's look at the bottom end of that first division. Paget still winless, got a draw, but they're still winless. They have 1 point. Vasco have 3. They are winless as well. And then you have Island Rangers, who have 6 points. They got a win and 3 draws. They were going on pretty well. That unpredictable team in Wolves, 7 games, 3 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws. St. David's, 9 games, 4 wins, 5 losses. But St. David's and Wolves have 11 and 12. There's still a lot of football to be played in the second half of the season for the first division. So that anything's possible for that to swing around.
Yeah, for sure. I still think, Parish has definitely wrapped it up, but I still think this second place is going to be between those 3 teams. That's where the battle's going to happen. Who's going to come second?
Would a long run in the FA hurt a team like Parish?
Nah, I actually think it can measure them. I actually think that a run in the FA is going to measure who they really are, you know, versus their ambition of coming to up to the next division. I potentially think they're a team that can potentially win the FA if they really take it serious. If they decide they want to take it serious. I mean, the only other team that in that division has won the FA was Colts, I believe, right? Yeah. So I think they're a team that's capable of winning the FA with a proper run.
Right. Now, as we know, amateurs, they have their heads on, but as you get further into the FA, you know what happens, because they'll look at it, and some of the players, I'm not saying that the coaches would allow this to happen, but some of the players will start thinking, hey, let me take it easy in this first division game, because next week we've got the FA quarterfinal, and you know, even if we lose a game in the first division, we'll be all right. But then that starts to filter in. You start winning FA games, but then you start either drawing or losing, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in a battle to win the league.
Their confidence is sky high in that division, right? Paris, as I'm seeing them, as I see their players yesterday, they move. Their confidence is sky high, and they mastered that division. They mastered that division, and some of the games that they're beating before the game started. They're beating some of those games before it started. So I don't see them being a distraction. What I see the FA being a benefit to them to want to measure who they are, because also, and we all know what happens when you get cross flat spreads. You know, that community believes in themselves when it comes to these things, right? That community is a community that wants to show that they're one of the better communities in Bermuda, and we're about to show it on that football field. So they're gonna want to beat some of the top teams, and the communities behind them. You know, the communities behind them. I hear what people say to me, like they're back, you know.
Their last FA Cup final was against North Village up at the National Sports Center. They had a good run.
Right. So they had a run, and that was the Corey Hill area. So they had a run. That's going to come back into play, right? You know, and if you remember correctly, they feel they got robbed up there against North Village.
Yeah.
They feel they got robbed up there. But don't worry, next year North Village put it right when we put 10 of them up Sam Range. I made sure I was part of it. I made sure we put it right, because I know the year before they felt like they got robbed up National Stadium, right? They got robbed, and to be fair, to be fair, they probably did get robbed up National Stadium. North Village wasn't at the best,
right?
You know, but they did win that game. But we fixed that. We fixed that the next year. Sure. We put 10 in them up Rangers.
All right. Well, Mace, thank you very much for this evening. Folks, we'll be back next week, Sunday, with another edition of the Island Stat Football Show. Do enjoy their week.
Sure.
Have a good night.
Good night.